Hey everyone, welcome back to Beekeeping with Natalie, or welcome to if you are new. It is hot and sunny out today, which I'm not super excited about, honestly. It's so stinking hot because we've been in like the negatives, so when it's like 80 degrees like it is right now, it feels like a million. And I've never liked the heat anyways, so it just sucks all around. But anyway, so super excited for this year. But we're gonna go ahead and check some of these hives. I just did a video on them and I just checked for pollen, or put pollen sub on. And so we're gonna go through, see how they're taking it, and then I wanna check and go in like a little bit deeper and see what the resources look like, if she's laying and all of that. She should be, most of our hives already are. So we're gonna do that today. I think I put pollen sub on all of these right here, but I only wanna check a few. So let's just go ahead and get into this hive and see what it's looking like. There's nothing in these buckets, but it's just covering up the hole right now. So let's just see. I don't really know what's blooming right now. Earlier, like a week or so ago, we actually had a dandelion that was in one of the yards, and I don't know how that happened, but it did, which is crazy. It's really early for that, but looks like they got it pretty good, and they're taking that paper out. Usually at the front there's some paper, but I don't know if there is. These ones have it, but yeah, so you can see down here in the front on the ground, here's all the paper that they kicked out. They still got a little bit more to take off, but I'll go ahead and do that myself. There's still just a little piece on there, so I might just leave that for them to finish up. So they took all of that. I don't know how long it's been, but it has not been very long, so a week. So it's been about a week. I'll go ahead and take it off. I'll probably put it back on for them though. It's just a little bit left, if it doesn't melt. I would take this top box off, but I don't know if that's going to happen because most of them are up in this top box, which means we're going to be able to switch them pretty soon because we want to make sure that they're back down in that bottom box. So we'll just swap these boxes, which we'll do here soon. I don't know when that's going to be yet. But yeah, it looks like most of them are in this top box. So I just want to pull out a few frames, see how it's looking. Since it is like, last I checked it was 77 degrees Fahrenheit, so it's probably like 80 now, at least that's what it feels like. I'm not trying to complain, I actually do like it, but when you gotta get in the hives, it's kind of crazy. But okay, so this is just covered in food right here. This is full of food too. Looks like there's a bunch of pollen down in there. The maples did pretty good this year. They're still popping, but it doesn't look like the bees are really on it anymore. But I did see a ton of pollen coming in. This is all filled. I don't know if you can see that, but it looks really good. So they are set. Here it looks like that next frame looks the exact same. So let's go into the middle and see how it's looking. Now the robbing's going to start before we know it. It already is a little bit. But usually when we're making our splits, which will be here pretty soon, it usually is really bad, so not looking forward to that one. But let's just see what this middle frame looks like. I feel like one of these I checked, and it might have been one of these, but I remember seeing a small patch of brood. It's not covered in bees, but it looks like there's actually a good bit down in that bottom box. So this is laid up. Thought I saw a cell and I was starting to freak out. It's not. If we're seeing swarm cells this early, that would be insane. Yeah, that's all laid up. That looks good. She's got eggs in there. She's probably somewhere up top. See, because I absolutely love grafting, the first thing I think of when I see that is that would be a really good grafting frame, actually, which we're going to be doing pretty soon, so really looking forward to that. I'm just going to go through and see what else it's looking like. I know a lot of people are probably still a little jealous that we're able to do this because a lot of people still can't do this. This feels a little bit heavier, so I'm guessing it's just food. Yeah, so this is all food. Let's check the one here on the left. See what that one's looking like. So far they look really good. Like I said, there's not like a ton of bees in here, but I still think there's a good bit in that bottom box. But because these frames are already pretty heavy, there's probably not a very good chance I'm going to be able to lift it. So we're not even going to try to do that on camera at least. Okay, here's some brood. This is a good patch, and it's also, I'm just going to take a quick look for her, but she is on here. She is dark. There she is. That's a nice looking queen right there. I'm gonna guess she's, I feel like that was a last year queen, but I'm not sure. It's always hard to film all this stuff, but hopefully you can see her right there. But I'm gonna guess she's from last year. So this is a pretty good pattern we've got going here. You can see she doesn't really have, especially on this side. If I can do this, there's not a ton of holes, so she's got a good pattern going here. Everybody always asks how often we requeen, and let me just look where she's at. Okay, so she's in the middle of the frame here. I'll go ahead and put her back in. We always get questions on how early we graft how many times we requeen, which I have no idea what it is. It usually just ends up happening every like 2 to 3 years is what we try to do. But we also found a green queen last year, which is like, I don't know what year that was. That was a long time ago. So she's pretty old, but sometimes that just happens. But usually we try to requeen as often as we can, especially when they're not doing very good. The second I see a queen that doesn't have a good pattern going, it looks shotgunny is what we call it. It usually means that there's just like the eggs are laid all over the place and the brood doesn't have a solid, nice pattern. That's usually when we'll also requeen. We like to do the hive test on her, and I haven't had a queen that has made it through that test yet. So, but anyways, that's usually what we do. It's one of the ways that we determine if we're going to requeen or not. And it also, if they're just really mean, we usually get rid of those pretty quick because I don't like to deal with the mean bees. I think we've got a pretty good system going, and because we can graft and make our own queens, we're able to requeen every year if we wanted to, but that's just a lot of work. I'm gonna go ahead and just put this back together. And just give them a little bit of smoke. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and just close them up. So they're looking really good. I might go through a couple more just because I want to, and it's nice outside. Let's go ahead and put this bucket back on, but now it's just kind of waiting to see what the weather does, and probably a little bit more feeding just to get ready. And like I said, we'll be going through pretty good dearth here pretty soon, just because that's usually what happens, like March, April-ish. April's usually pretty bad, but before we know it, we're going to be in the middle of bee season. It's going to be wild. So really looking forward to that, and hopefully you are too. But thanks for watching today's video. Follow along for bee adventures, and be here next time on Beekeeping with Natalie.